Hi guys, and welcome to Dee's Media World. Today I'll be talking about the new episode of Steven Universe, Too Far. So this episode is kind of just where everything left off last time. They're still trying to make the drill. They are working together. Pearl and Peridot are sort of working together. Peridot is still kind of a jerk, and that's kind of what this episode really is about, is how she was a jerk. This time a jerk to Amethyst and not just to Pearl. Both of these episodes, this one and last week's episode, are very similar in terms of, Peridot sort of learning how Earth works, how do the rules apply, and how do you speak to people. You should see people sort of as your equal. You're not really better than someone else, sort of thing. And in this case, Peridot sort of insults Amethyst, and that kind of is where she went too far, apparently. But I have to say, I didn't feel too sorry for Amethyst in this episode because she was kind of asking for it. I mean, she was totally fine with Peridot cracking jokes and talking smack about Pearl and Garnet, and how she shouldn't be a certain way, and how they are like Pearl, should be under her and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to you, you can't take the heat. And I was like, well, you should have known where this was going. You know how Peridot is. You know that she just says whatever comes to her mouth. I'm not even sure why Amethyst was so hurt by what she had said. And what basically Peridot had said was that, Amethyst didn't come out right. Apparently, she could have been bigger. Apparently, she would have been like a bigger gem or a bigger quartz, is the term they used. And I was like, well, I thought that was a kind of a confusing idea, because I guess gems cannot shapeshift as much as we thought. Like, Amethyst can, become the giant, what's called the purple puma or whatever, or and be like anything she wants to be in terms of shapes. But I guess she can't be taller if she wants to be. Like, she can't shift things around in that sense, like on a regular basis. Or maybe that's how Amethyst looks now, is how that's just sort of like her default look, I guess. Because I was like, well, she could technically be bigger if she wanted to, I guess. Like, she never seemed to have a problem in terms of her appearance. We know that Amethyst's real problem has to do with the fact that she has kind of a self-hatred about being born in the kindergarten and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't realize, too, that she has some, I guess she feels insecure even when it comes to her physical appearance. But yeah, this was kind of a case of Amethyst can dish it out but can't take it. But in any case, that doesn't excuse completely what Peridot had said. We did learn some things, and that was interesting, about what Amethyst, I guess, could have been. And the episode was cute. There's a little bit of course, Peridot's going to apologize by the end. And, they had to work together. I mean, even Peridot admits, kind of what the situation is, like, oh, I have to work with my enemies. I did like that she admitted that, like, even though, Amethyst isn't like where she thinks she should be, or where Peridot thinks she should be in terms of ranking, she herself, Peridot herself, is no better. She's stuck on Earth, can't get back home, basically failed the mission that she was supposed to do for Yellow Diamond, which I'm wondering, by the way, if that's going to come back. Peridot's afraid of the cluster, but what is Homeworld going to do to her when they find out she's failed and she's working with the crystal gems? That's something I expect to come up sooner or later. I still don't buy that Peridot is completely on everyone's team. It seems too easy for her right now. Like, I mean, I understand, Peridot is desperate and she kind of has no options but to try and stop the cluster, but I don't know. It seems like it's been coming to a little too easily. So I'm still expecting her to betray. I actually kind of hoping as well for her to betray the crystal gems and go back to the dark side, because that's kind of how I like it. I'm not the biggest fan of the villain who has to work with the heroes trope that some people love. But in any case, I thought this was a cute episode. Steven was his normal, adorable self, making sure Amethyst is okay, because I guess Amethyst feelings got hurt. And she makes sure she feels okay. Peridot apologized in a cute way with the tape recorder. I like that. I thought this was an okay episode, and I really don't have much else to say about it. I think it was good. I'm looking forward to whenever the show decides to come back on, and I will see you guys later.